All right, hey guys, this is going to be the first set of notes that we take. Um, this is just review. You should know how to do long division and double digit multiplication. I'm not going to read through these notes because you should have already had them copied down before you watch this video, because I'm just going to go through the practice problems. This is kind of how it's going to go all the time. Your homework will be to copy down these practice problems. Or copy down these notes, work on the practice problems with the video, and then do some practice problems on your own. So that's kind of how this process is going to go. So this is just a reminder of double digit multiplication. I like to use different colors when I'm doing math, so I know exactly what I'm doing. Um, and that's something you might want to do. In some cases, I will require it. So make sure you have different color pens or pencils or highlighters or something that you can use when we change colors. So double digit, you can see the steps: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat if necessary. So what that's going to look like is how many times can 5 go into 1? Well, it can't. So I'm going to put an X there because you guys always not put the correct digit above the correct number in a division problem, and sometimes you can get messed up. So 5 can't go into 1, so I'm going to put an X there so I don't accidentally put any numbers in that spot. 5 can go into 10 2 times. I'm going to do 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to subtract. That leaves me with 0. I'm going to bring down with the 6. 5 can go into 6 1 time. 5 times 1 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Going to bring down that 5. 5 can go into 15 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. So we can stop right there. And the way that I know that we can stop is that there's no more numbers to bring down. That's very important. That you continue dividing until there's no more numbers to bring down. You might want to make a note of that. All right, here's the other one. 30 can go into 3 0 times. So I'm just going to cross that off, put an X there. 30 can go into 30 1 times. 30 times 30 is 30. So I'm going to subtract those, end up with 0. Now I bring down the 9. Now this is where a lot of students mess up because they'll just go ahead and bring down the 0, which is something that you're not supposed to do here. You can only bring down one number at a time. All right, so can 30 go into 9? Well, 30 cannot go into 9. So it's 0 times. 30 times 0 is 0. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to end with 9 again. But now I can bring the 0 down. 30 can go into 90 3 times. 30 times 3 is 90. 90 minus 90 is 0. There's nothing left to bring down, and I'm done with my division problem. Okay, and again, you can always pause the video to re-listen to what I said, or if I'm going too fast, you can pause it and then catch up. So that's the brilliance of having your notes on video. All right, so something that you need to start doing from 6th grade on out is when you have a remainder, you no longer do remainder of 3. Okay, that is no longer what you will do with remainders. A remainder from 6th grade on up is going to be interpreted or seen, okay, as either a decimal or a fraction. So your answer at the very end of your division problem will either become a decimal or a fraction. For instance, as a decimal, so 2 can go into 3 1 time. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring the 9 down. 2 can go into 19 8 times. 9 times. 2 times 9 is 18. 19 minus 18 gives me 1. So I have 1 left over. So as a decimal, I then need to put a decimal here. Bring down another 0. Now I have 10. 2 can go into 10 5 times. I'm going to erase this and rewrite it down here. Okay, so I'm going to bring the 0 down. 2 can go into 10 5 times. So I'm going to subtract 10. I now end up with 0. Nothing else to bring down. My answer then is 19.5. Okay, so I'm going to show you the same problem just to show you what it looks like when you do it as a fraction. Okay, so 2 can go into 3 1 time. Which goes all the same thing. Oh, that's supposed to be 1. Bring the 9 down. 18. 1. Okay, so here I have the same thing that I had the last time. So I've got 19 with the remainder of 1. And now we're going to put that as a fraction. All right, so this is what the important part. This is going to be your whole number. Okay, very important that you know that. This is going to be your numerator. And this right here is your denominator. Okay, so then my answer at that point, not a space on here. My answer then at that point would be 19. 19 is my whole, 1 is my numerator, 2 is my denominator. So my answer then is 19 and 1/2, which is the same with the decimal here as 19 and 1/2. All right, lastly, we got double-digit multiplication. You should have learned how to do this as well. So steps are multiply the ones place, then multiply the tens place. Very important. You might want to make a note. Don't forget your placeholder 0. So every time you go down a line, you need to have another placeholder 0. And the reason that is because when you get to the step 2, you are now multiplying basically by tens, right? So you're going to end up with a 0 at the end. So let me explain that. So I've got 5 times 1. So this is the ones place. 5 times 1 is 5. Sticking with the ones place, 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, now I multiplied both those numbers. I can forget about that one. I need a placeholder 0 because I'm dropping a line because now I'm multiplying it by 10. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. And then I just add these together. That's 5, that's 6, that's 4. My answer is 465. Okay, so same thing with here. I've got 3 in the ones place. So 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. Okay, now I'm going down to the tens place. So I got to add that 0 there. Then I'm going 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. I like to cross those out. 1 times 1 is 1. Add these together. I have 5, 8, 8, and 1. So 1,885. All right, so that should have been pretty easy because it was all review. You will have some practice problems. So make sure you go back to the agenda Google Slides and find out what your homework is. All right, bye guys.